Heirs Outdoors is now partnered with PodHub Network, your local source of podcasts in the Pittsburgh regional area.
The Pennsylvania Game Commission gives out their proposals for the big game seasons in 2020. I'm Brian McLaughlin, joined by Nolan Duncan, and this is Heirs Podcast.
All right, cool. So, Brian, we're going over the source material here. We're pulling it from a website known as Lancaster Online. I'm sure that's Lancaster, PA.
Yeah, it is.
Where we're actually pulling this information up.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go ahead and review some of the things that they want to go over as far as what the Game Commission is proposing here. But what have you noticed that kind of struck your eye?
Well, the big thing that everyone's talking about right now, and there's good debates on either side. One side's arguing for the concurrent doe season. They're gonna try to make it so rifle season. It's gonna be 2-week long rifle season, and you can hunt does and bucks throughout the whole season. And now one side's worried about hunter retention and saying if we have you can shoot does the whole 2 weeks, we'll get more licensed sales. We'll get more people in the woods. And that's what we're all about for Heirs Outdoors, is trying to get more people in the woods. But I'm actually on the other side of the argument because I've experienced over the past couple of years, like the deer population's coming back, and had to come back from something. When I think it was like 2008 or like over a decade ago, they had concurrent doe and buck seasons for the whole 2 weeks. And as much as I would like more time to fill my doe tags in rifle season, the last time we did this for a couple of years, it objectively massacred the herd, at least where we hunt in Western Pennsylvania.
Do you think it's a good idea just because the hunter population is actually declining? Do you think they're compensating for that?
I think they're trying to. My big thing is I really think that they're trying to, because they're worried about CWD and the South Central PA. They're basically going to wipe out the herd. We had a podcast about this where they are trying to wipe out the herd down there so they can stop the spread of CWD by killing all the deer, which, I guess is how you deal with it. They deal with it in New York and Minnesota like that, and it's worked. And they bring back the populations. But I think they're worried about it spreading into the elk population. And I think, I can't really support this, but it just seems to me that they're trying to lower the population of deer in Pennsylvania, probably to deal with that. I mean, what else would they think could possibly happen if you have everyone rifle hunting for 2 weeks, shooting does and bucks? Because we know from the past experiences over a decade ago, it did wipe out the population. And for the hunter retention argument, I think it's better for hunter retention to have more deer in the woods, regardless if you can't shoot does in the first week of rifle, because a lot of people stopped hunting after that because there was no deer.
Yeah, I can see that being a major problem. Mm-hmm. Now, for people that don't really understand CWD too much, could you emphasize on that a little bit more? Like what does it necessarily do to a deer as far as the disease goes? Yeah, we
had a podcast about this before. Typically, chronic wasting disease, it just deteriorates a deer to the point where it just kind of falls apart, dies, becomes completely decrepit, and it just dies. It's really bad. It spreads very easily through prions. I think that's how you correctly pronounce it. They think it's in the soil and it can't be destroyed until you can actually burn it out, but that's not a reality here in Pennsylvania. So they're really trying to curtail the spread of it to other wildlife management units. So they're going to completely eliminate the deer population in those WMUs.
Yeah, and what I'm noticing too is it is saying that sales have been declining on an average rate of 3%. They rose this season by 0.4%. They even say it's not really a big increase, but it wasn't a decline either. So I'm thinking, again, that's a big reason why they're tacking on this extended doe season, just so they can get better sales out of it. Right. But I don't think that's the source of why the sales are declining.
No, the reason that it went back up this year, it was the first year they had a increase in sales, was just because they had the Saturday opener for rifle season. And a lot of people complained about it, saying that, this is tradition. You go on Saturday and Sunday, and then you hunt on Monday. But a lot of people can't take off Mondays. And to be honest, I didn't notice a drastic difference in the amount of hunters in the woods or shots.
Right.
But, especially for this year, I feel like if they do open up the concurrent season, that there is going to be a lot more action come the first day, but it's going to have a negative effect on the deer population altogether. And I have a feeling that if this goes on and it goes on for a couple of years, we're going to be having a lot of boring bow seasons because of just the lack of deer. It's going to inevitably result from this policy proposal.
Yeah, I agree. I hope it doesn't turn out to be the case with that, but from your observations, it seems like it's going to be a certain thing.
Right. Now, the other states don't have this. They have seasons that are longer, and they have just as good as deer populations. And I ask myself, why is it different for Pennsylvania? And it's different for Pennsylvania because even with the drastic decline in hunting in our state and actually across the country, we still have the highest per capita amount of hunters in the entire United States. So that is why, the hunter density here is so much higher. If you open it up and you kill all these does off, that's why you're going to have a drastic and noticeable decrease in the population. And that's going to hurt hunter retention more than not being able to shoot deer in the first week of rifle. And that's my argument.
Okay. Yeah, that makes complete sense to me. Like, I have nothing to refute that other than, oh, wow, I get more deer I can kill in a year. But in the long run,
if you disagree, please shoot us a message, send us an email, or even comment below, because we want to hear from you. We like to have discussion over this because it is a very important part of conservation or lack thereof. So we want to hear from you. So anything else you see in there? I see bear. They're making changes in the bear.
Yeah, we could talk about the bear season. So they're expanding. From what I'm understanding, they're expanding the bear season as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like that they're expanding bear archery. I have no quarrels with this at all. They had the first time they had the muzzleloader season for bear last year. I think they killed a lot more bear than the Game Commission actually thought they were going to. That's going to negatively affect the population, obviously, but the population has been growing. So I'm open for longer seasons, especially in archery, because how awesome would it be to kill a bear with a bow in archery season in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, what's funny though, I've actually seen some articles. You mentioned population increase. WPXI did I think an article recently where bear are actually encroaching farther south than usual. Like, instead of it just being Jefferson County and Clarion all up there, they're actually moving farther down towards Butler and Allegheny County. So that'll be interesting if we could actually have bear hunting out here too. I think that would be pretty convenient for us.
There isn't a huntable population out here yet. We have to drive to Venango County, Clarion County, or other places. But around here, there's no huntable population. But I'm completely open for the bear archery season being extended, because if I do see one, I want to be able to fling an arrow at it.
Yeah, I think it would be absolutely awesome if we just had more opportunities with bear, and having that extra. I'm getting my compound very soon. Mm-hmm. So we'll have a video coming out about that. It's going to be the Matthews
mission switch.
Yeah, the mission switch. It's going to be freaking awesome. It's going to be my first bow, so I'm excited to actually use that, and maybe we can go out bear hunting with it too.
Yeah, it'll be a video of if you never hunted with a bow before, how you go to the shop, pick out a bow, and then tune it, find your arrows, get your broadhead, and get everything out. So if you're starting out, you can go from that all the way to getting in the stand and hunting. So.
Yeah, and personally, I haven't done any archery since I was like 12 years old, and that wasn't even with a compound. It was just with a regular, what we call a longbow or whatever.
Yeah. The last thing we're going to talk about that they're proposing, the Game Commission, is changing the rule from if you shoot one, you have to tag it before you shoot another deer. Now, to be honest, I didn't even know this. I didn't know it was a thing. So thank God I never shot more than one deer, but I usually don't really have a need to. I enjoy going out hunting, getting a successful kill. I'm not really for just, laying down and just mowing down deer. But anyways, yeah, I just shoot one, I shoot one in archery season, one doe in archery season, maybe doe in rifle season, but I try to use something cool like a pistol. And then I try to save one for flintlock season. It all depends. But yeah, no, so they're changing the policy to where you can just, shoot more than one deer and then tag them both after you shoot them. So what do you think about that?
I don't have a real opinion on that. I think it's okay either way. So it's not like a crazy change that's going to alter hunting as a whole.
Yeah, it's not like there's massive herds of deer running around. But sometimes there are more than one that people can shoot, it might actually negatively affect the population. But if the game commission gives out those permits, I don't really see an issue with it. If you want to shoot more than one, then I guess that's your thing. The only thing I'm worried about is people just flinging lead indiscriminately, like wounding multiple deer and then not looking for them.
Yeah, that would be, I think that would be like an ethical kind of debate we could touch base on. I am worried about the certain hunters that don't really chase after their deer after those kind of situations.
I think this is something you need to instill in young hunters, where if you hit a deer, you need to go and you need to give it your best. If you find one drop of blood, give it your best shot at finding it. Come back another day, the next day if you need to, and look for it. Just give it your best shot, because there's nothing worse than wounding a deer and not finding it, not being able to actually use the meat.
And that's why I really emphasize building more camaraderie within the hunting community, because a lot of people just do it by themselves, and they give up on finding a very good looking deer. It's a waste. It's a big waste in the end. So hopefully we can build more responsible hunters, and hopefully a lot more hunters will just take advantage of that responsibility in general if they are experienced. But regardless,
a lot of people, especially I feel like they're afraid to ask people to come help them look for a deer. I think if any ethical hunter, if you're asked to, to go help someone find a deer, people are really, they will help you, because an extra pair of eyes will not hurt. So guys, if you're new to hunting, or even if you're an experienced hunter, if you can't find a deer, make sure to just reach out to anyone and try to help them, try to get them to help you find the deer, because there's nothing worse than, like I said, I've already reiterated this, just letting it a good hit deer go and not being able to find it later. I mean, it happens to everyone. It's happened to me a couple times, to where you hit a deer and you really can't find it and you feel terrible. So you just want to avoid that. So don't be afraid to, ask a friend, even if they don't hunt, to try to help you find that deer. Yeah.
Look at your situations for the past few years now. You had the Pascals come out and help you out. So there's no shame in asking for help.
Yeah. You try to make the best shot possible. Sometimes you do, and you can't find it. That buck that they helped me find, you can watch a video of me shooting an 8-point in 2018. It was a perfect double lunger, and it went a little bit farther than we thought it ever would. And it was in some thick stuff. Like I said, no shame in it. Just do the best for the sport, and that's recovering the deer that you shoot.
Kind of crazy how that's encroaching 2 years now. Man, that's crazy.
We've been doing this for a while.
Yeah, seriously. Well, that's generally the whole concept of this article here. Not too much going on this time around, but hope you guys enjoyed it. Regardless, I'll post a link to the article in the description below, and to the videos that we mentioned as well. But Brian, do you have anything else you want to touch base on before we end this?
Really, you listen to this podcast for our opinions, and I don't expect everyone to agree with our opinions all the time. If you have a different opinion, we'd like to hear it in the comments section. Like I said, shoot us an email if you'd like to too. We do respond to those. Someone just watched our video for the Canon G50 and asked us, what exactly do I need to buy? And of course, we responded to him promptly, and we look forward to him getting back to us with some of the stuff that he shot. So like I said, we are very open people. Shoot us a message on Facebook, shoot us an email. We want to hear your opinions on anything hunting related, especially these policy proposals coming down the tube in 2020.
Absolutely. So with that being said, guys, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel, and like the video, of course. Follow us on Instagram and give us a like on Facebook. But other than that, you all have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll see you next time.
See ya.